We will seek you, find you. 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 We will seek you, find you.
Travis Wingetzel. How do you know if a seed is corrupt or good? I would hope everybody knows you got to produce the fruit. And the metaphor of a fruit tree has a seed that sprouts and produces a trunk, and then branches and blossoms right before it fruits. And then when the fruits are fully grown, you can then eat them and find out if the seed was corrupt or good. Real simple. It's all over Scripture, even in that Bible that is incorrectly translated but plagiarized precisely as it stands in our New Testament. Errors and all. And so, Expo never mows. Why do you keep arguing with Mormons over the problems with the types of branches of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? You keep trying to prove that the church is false by going to the branches. What is the seed of Mormonism? Well, it depends, isn't it? And it's real simple. This video doesn't need to take this long. Everybody can know for themselves that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is false. Yes, Mormons, sorry. If you're in denial of this, you're stupid. And you're trying to force your stupidity upon other people to accept your stupidity and believe your stupidity and join the church to pay the church money. And so all of the branches of cows and geography and missing plates and Trinitarian Christianity turned non-Trinitarian, all of that is branches. Go to the seed. What is the seed of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints concerning the Book of Mormon and the church and Joseph Smith? They claim to be Christian. And so how do you find out if the church is true or not? You read the Book of Mormon. And nobody does it. 1 Nephi, chapter 1, verse 2. What religion does the Book of Mormon say it's written in? Jewish religion, pre-Babylonian captivity. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is destroyed from the face of the earth. That's all you had to do. Didn't need to go into all this other stuff about whether or not Joseph Smith saw angels risen from the dead. None of it. That's all you needed to put Mormons in their place and shut them up and destroy this church. And you don't do it, do you? So, now that I have a whole bunch of time left to do, aren't you glad I did this first rather than last? Because now you can, okay, well, I got his point. Church isn't true. Got it. Jewish. Fine. Whatever. Now we have some comment reviews and some news that's important, because the Jewish Latter-days, you know, what the Bible was written in by Jews, so it's the Jewish religion, not Christian, you know, like the Book of Mormon, Jewish, not Christian. The Latter-days have already come and gone. The Christ has already showed up, and you missed him. It's over. And so now we're waiting for utter destruction. You know what the Book of Mormon said for the Jaredites and the Nephites. Utter destruction. It's now Mormon's turn. And if you're living here in Utah, oops, because you're not going to Zion, if you're an Expo Nevermo, you didn't join the right church. You're too busy arguing over branches. And so, yeah, the whole world is going to descend into doom and darkness. And you don't seem to understand the danger everybody is in, not just Mormons. And so, yeah, that's where some of the news stories that I need to cover for you, because you've been spared for the summertime until the election, because they failed to produce Jesus. 1 month, 14 days late. No Jesus. And so, what I find very curious is how many people hate me for exposing that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, claiming to be Christian, therefore it's false, is revising history. Revisionist history. This is evil, it's wrong, but conquering nations do it because they won. And so they've got to vilify the victims of their oppression. And so my video, taken, shall we say, inspired by Bill Maher, in his Friday night show last, goes over the revisionist history. And 17 thumbs down. I haven't seen that many, and there were a whole bunch more thumbs down when I did the Bednar video decades ago. I can't even remember what the topic was. I just remember just over 100 thumbs down when Bednar was the one attacking you, abusing you. And I'm getting hated for it? Oh my oh. Here's one that I didn't approve because it was just weird. He's not Mormon, but he's wanting to learn from me. He came to the Church of Pimp Daddy Jesus Christ. These are gems. Why aren't you paying attention to them, Mormons? Why? And so he's critiquing the video. He doesn't understand. He comes to one. He doesn't know and understand my channel, what it's about, my particular style, which everybody hates. But I will not change. I am not here to entertain you. I am here to warn you. I am just one of you. That's it. I'm just a slob like all of you. And so what was interesting is that, let's see, he says narrating the written text on the screen would be helpful. No, this was a specific video because I was sick yesterday. I spent the first half of the day in the bed, apparently getting bitten by bugs. Going out later on my run previously had resulted in getting a bug virus. And so, yeah, I had, yesterday, I had the headache on the back of the neck and the temples here, and the fever, and diarrhea. And so, yeah, it was, yes. But, yeah, I took a couple of ibuprofen and I'm better now. But along with some naps while I was watching Deep Space Nine. I obtained Frasier's season 1 now. Why, guys? CBS, what the hell? It's the same name as the previous show that went for 11 seasons. It's not a spin-off because it's the same name. It's the same guy. And you're calling it season 1? Call it season 12. I understand, decades apart, but it's season 12. And so I labeled it that way for my files. And so no, I was specifically wanting you to read in this video. And so no narration. No, if I wasn't having a headache and bedridden, yeah, I would have done a narration video, and I most likely would have done something else instead. But because of the sickness, down with the sickness, I did this in its place. And he says, as well as not repeating the "we will get you" thing at the beginning. No. Did you read? No, you didn't read. You don't like to read. You want narration. Read it. The bottom line, read it. There's a reason why I repeated it. And I'm putting it in every single video. I forgot one yesterday evening, and so I put a separate file for staple YouTube plugins, so it will not happen again. And so yeah, I will not conform and comply to your will for me. Why do you think that you're going to get me to conform and comply to you? I don't get it. Another Mormon did a naughty no-no on Palmina's comment. She's the one who confused Joseph Smith Jr. as being a Freemason before organizing his church. And so I allowed her comment and then corrected her on her misinformation so that she would now have the correct information. I have yet to hear back from her. It's like Jasmine. She's gone missing again. But this was on the video, Let Them Eat Cake. There's a reason why I said that. Do you know where that comes from? It's a Queen of England. What was she doing to the people? There is context to what I do, and you have to know it. And so there was another guy, I don't know if I'll cover him here, but yeah, born and raised in the Covenant Mormon, which means there will be Mormonisms that are unique to Mormonism in my videos, because I know all about Mormonism, not just being born and raised in the covenant, participating. I studied too. I have been put into situations of prominence to get background information the regular Mormon will never get. And so, yeah, there is a lot of prerequisite knowledge for much of what I talk about. And so I specifically do not talk to anybody but Mormons, and thus exfo nevermos, or exfos, who are technically Mormon, even though you got booted out or you left. You too are for my message, because you're arguing branches rather than the seed, that it's supposed to be Jewish, not Christian. Because you just expose that, and all the rest, is now explained. That's why there's cows, because it's Jewish, not Christian. That's why there's angels, because it's Jewish, not Christian. That's why it's the Son of God changed from God, because it's Jewish, not Christian, etc., etc., etc. Geography, all that, the plagiarism, Jewish, not Christian. Completely different paradigm. And so, Bodier, ashamed of who he is, wanting to create a hidden identity to troll on her comment. Not to me, to her. Dear God. And so he doesn't talk about Freemasonry. It's all on tithing. He went to her comment that first talks about Freemasonry. He doesn't talk about Freemasonry because he doesn't know anything about it. And so he has nothing to say on it. And instead goes after tithing to justify it. This is what I have been horrified over all these years, is that Mormons justify wickedness and crime in order to defend the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And exfo nevermos, you don't catch this? This is just abominable. Whoever this troll is, he comes up with a book to justify this. And he says paying tithing has nothing to do with money. The stupidity of Mormons made manifest. It's the Lord's economy, you dumbass. It's all about money. Even Nelson came out and said, I don't think I put it in this video, but in another one that I did about tithing before this, This was a Jasmine comment reply video for which she's now ghosted me again. But I mean, dear God, and he's trying to bear testimony of how tithing has blessed his life and his family, and he doesn't get it. And again, it's real simple, Exfo never knows. We don't need to go into all the other crap he's talking about. I just have to read that first line and go, he doesn't even understand tithing is the monetary system of the church. It is about money. But what he is distracting from, section 119, he's trying to justify and legitimize section 119 to defend this church. And in case you didn't know, because you've never watched my channel before, in 1838, Joseph Smith apparently freaked out, changed everything, changed the seed, dug it up, destroyed it, replaced it with a new seed, of which Joseph Smith didn't even remember that he changed it all, because when he got out of Liberty Jail, he didn't follow any of it. Oops. And so who was it that made the changes? Well, which branch off is the only one that still clings to them as if Joseph Smith did them? Yeah, Brigham's church. Nobody else. Just Brigham. And so thus Brigham was the one who made all the accusations. And his Danites. I mean, members. Converts. Real easy to figure out, Exfo never knows. And Mormons. And nobody wants to believe. Everybody wants to deny. Live in their own little fantasy world. Oh, here's the guy. Yep. And so, yeah, on my James Strang historical video content. Lots of narration in this one. And so cynical eyes, spelled wrong, which seems like a Terminator head on its side. He says, trying to follow along with what's going on, feels like dude is telling himself inside jokes. And it's Mormon jokes. There are Mormonisms here. If you're a never-mo, which it seems like you are, and have no clue what's going on, yeah, it's because you're not Mormon. You didn't get born and raised in the covenant. You didn't go through the traditional cultural practices of Mormonism in the 70s and 80s and saw the transition when September 6, 1993 shocked the church. And so the church leaders responded by retaliation. How dare you! And excommunicated and fired them. And so then it became, instead of the still small voice, it's now the still small feeling. And you gotta get the right feeling in order to join the church and pay money and stay in the church, to wear your bondage underwear. And so if you have no clue what I mean by bondage underwear, it's because you missed conference. You didn't listen to Oaks. He was speaking, he was narrating. Did you not listen? It was very clear. And so yes, there are billions of inside jokes of Mormonism. And never-mos don't care. They just want to hear somebody bash on the church, because they're not Mormon. That's all they're interested in. And so alt family is now on Let Them Eat Cake, saying that I'm tightly twisting section 119 on this one. No. Have you never read it? I think I go over it with you, narrate it for you. And those are the ones I already covered. And so here's a guy who did a couple of them on the Bill Maher video. And he's Christian. So is this the right argument to make? To impose Christianity to claim the Book of Mormon is not true? Because it's not Christian. It's not Trinity Jesus. Is that the right argument to make? Joseph? Oh, he's not Christian, therefore he's wrong. Is that the right argument to make? No, you dumbass. You've got a separate seed, and you're trying to claim that the seed is not the same seed, and no duh, we all know that. But you're now claiming that your seed is the one true seed, and you don't even know where your seed comes from, because you're talking about branches, not the seed. Just like Mormons, just like Expo Nevermos about Joseph. And so yes, I've had to do my videos about the first instance of the emergence of Christianity. Creatio ex nihilo. And I'm still, to this day, I do not hear any Christian getting excited and hyped up for next year. It's a big year next year. Hello? I mean, you're not talking about this year because this year is only 1,699. Nobody really celebrates that. But next year? No, there's some zeros at the end. 1,700 year anniversary of the creation of Christianity. You're going, what? No, Travis, it's 2024 years. This is where Christianity goes wrong too. And so he's Mormonsplaining to Mormons, not to me. He's trying to incite Mormons. He's using my channel to communicate to Mormons. Do it on your own channel, Albert J. Louis. Mormons, no restoration is needed because Jesus has already established his church. He doesn't even know Mormonism's view on this. Nelson even repeated it in a conference during his tenure. The Mormon Church believes that Jesus is real, but non-Trinitarian. That the apostles are real and non-Trinitarian. Human, who can become gods. And they've all been resurrected, except for John the Baptist. Well, yeah, they're all spirits. I guess he was resurrected. But again, I'm trying to impose Mormon Christianity on the Jewish text. Can't be done. And so, the church believes that Jesus died, was resurrected, and under Nelson, never ascended. But everybody else ascended. Just Jesus never ascended. And so after the apostles died, the church tells us that the world fell into apostasy. The great apostasy. Technically, it's the creation of Christianity, of Constantine. And so Bruce R. McConkie's original book of our Mormon doctrine tells us flat out, the great and abominable church is the Catholic Church. And he had to edit it. Which is hilarious because Bruce R. McConkie was an apostle of the Great and Abominable Church. Just hilarious. God. I still think he might have been murdered. Nelson? What's going on? And so, yeah, thus the need for Joseph Smith and the literal history seeing angels from the dead. And gold plates that we have to call golden because gold is too heavy if it were to be real. Because we're not wanting to acknowledge the learning of the Jews. Again, remember branches, ex-phone evermost. Alright? And so yes, he's now using Matthew 16:18 on me. Oh no, he got me. He got me. No, he didn't. He's using Christian interpretation of Matthew 16:18. Matthew was written before the creation of Christianity. Therefore, it's the Jewish religion because it was a Jewish author. So it's not the Christian religion because it's not a Christian author. Duh. We got too many revisionists of history going on in this world. Over 4 billion. And now AI is revising history. Cut it out. And so, yeah, it doesn't matter what it says here, but this is the, and again I say unto you, Peter, that upon this rock I will build my church. It doesn't say Peter, he will build his church. But the Catholics have to acknowledge this. This is how the church claims authority. Joseph Smith got it right. He understands the learning of the Jews and the Jewish authors who wrote this. Seer, revelation, visions, dreams. That's how you found a church. How did Joseph Smith found a church? Oh, visions. Dreams. Huh. How does the Book of Mormon start? What did that Lehi character do? 1 Nephi chapter 1, he has 2 of them, just like Joseph had 2 of them. Visions, dreams, seer. Why seer? Because Peter in Egyptian is seer. Learning of learning of the Jews' language of the Egyptians. Hello? Real easy breezy cover girl. Even Moses tells us this. How did Moses start his church? Vision, burning bush. Not literal history. So again, this is abominable, Albert. You have been weaponized by Christianity to spread lies and hate. Anti-Semitism is hate. And then he's going to Jude chapter 3. While I was very diligent to write to you concerning our common salvation. Is it? It's the Christian common salvation. Trinitarian Christian, right? Because again, Jude, when was it written? Before or after the creation of Christianity. Next year, 1700 years from its creation. And I'm willing to bet they will never discuss the creation of Christianity. If anything, they may go, oh, hey, this is the 1700 years from when Constantine had his first creed of Christianity, or first creed, Nicene Creed. They will never acknowledge that that was the creation of Christianity. Because they have to perpetuate the lie and get their people to be dumb and perpetuate the lie for them. Right, Mormons? I found it necessary to write to you, exhorting you to contend earnestly for the faith. Which faith? Which was once for all delivered to the saints. Oh, so not the people, the membership, the saints. Anybody know the difference? Saint Patrick, Saint Gabriel, Saint Michael, Saint Luke. Yeah, they changed the meaning of saints and what it means to be a saint. so that the members are no longer able to be saints. And so thus the Reformation movement, and then there are some who like to claim to be saints because of Jude, and blah, blah, blah. And so now he's going back to Christiansplaining. Jesus has already established his church and built it upon a rock. Yeah, the Catholic Church even built it on a rock there in the Vatican. In the tomb of Peter, because he's real, you just can't see the bones and do DNA research on them. It's in a stone coffin. Stone. Why? Because they have to tell you the lie and perpetuate it to maintain their authority. And so Dan Brown does Angels and Demons and helps to promote that Peter is real with the tour of the Vatican the dungeon archives down below, and the tombs. But yeah, I was really hoping for more. He came to Utah, decided not to do anything about the Mormon Freemasonry connection. Oh my God, that would have been your bestseller if you got your history right, anyway, because you still kind of struggled with your history on Freemasonry in your movies and your books. Gotta do your research, guys. Can't just entertain people and revise history. Also, the faith was once, all capital, and for all already delivered to the saints. Yeah, I already find that amazing that Nelson has the audacity to claim that the restored gospel is exactly from the New Testament that the Christians also believe in. And Mormons fall for it. Oh my God. Because Elder Pullman, 1984, October conference. The church and the gospel are separate. What? Oh, I mean the church and the gospel are one and the same. Oh my God. And this is on tithing, isn't it? Or a historical revisionism. Yeah, way to go, Albert. And to skip over some of the other comment that he put in first, he said, "So Mormons, which Jesus do you believe in?" Well, non-Trinitarian, duh. "Your Jesus of the Book of Mormon, who is the brother of Satan." Yeah. Or the Jesus of the Bible, precisely as it is written, precisely as it stands in our New Testament. Yeah. Who is the Son, who is God, the Son, second person of the Trinity. No, they don't believe that. Hello, you're not going to convince them. Sorry, Albert. You can't use Christianity to convince Mormons they're wrong. You've got to use Mormonism to convince Mormons they're wrong. Learning of the Jews, right, Mormons? You now all got confounded and you're ashamed and you're crying, you're little snowflakes, because I owned you. Right? Oh, you left? You've already put a hate comment and a thumbs down, trying to outdo the Bill Maher thumbs downs. And so Mr. Bill Mechanic is bypassing YouTube's AI system to avoid being flagged. on the one with Ballard on the front cover. The LDS Church will not lead Mormons astray. Memes prove it. And so he types his text comment all on one line. I will not repeat it. And on the same video, LDS Church will not lead Mormons astray. He's actually asking, and it seems strange that he would ask this, Ellen Child videos. And I did reply to them. I approved this and applied and said, yes. Yes, he did. And much more. He says, he's asking, did Brigham Young lead the church astray with priesthood ban of black men in the church? Yes. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. That's an obvious one. The church has come out and confessed. Yes, it's Brigham Young. He's a racist. You know, that's what people were back in those days. We're not racist now. There's no such thing as racism anymore. Right, Nikki Haley? No, a school in the South didn't rename their high schools with Confederate generals and leaders. Nope. No racism whatsoever. Move along. Nothing to see here. God. Is that it? Huh. Damn, that's it. So let's get to the news. It's just unbelievable, Mormons. Why? Why? Why are you pretending to be so stupid and getting angry at people when they expose you as stupid? Because you're stupid. It's a natural response. Okay, should we do this one first or this one? Let's do this one. This is an older one. So yeah, the one thing that destroys the church is Jewish dumbasses. Alright, so if you've been paying attention to local news here in Utah, they're talking about revitalizing Salt Lake City. This is code for we hate the Jews and we're going to murder them. You know, Operation Rio Grande, City Creek Mall, Gateway Mall, yeah, murder the homeless. Did I say Jews? Murder the homeless, murder the poor. I hope I didn't say Jews. But yeah, they want to do that too. Because they're, oh my God, nobody's watching my video. Oh my hell. Breaking news, the church tried to coup the Congo. Mormons got caught, they failed. I mean, obviously, Nelson keeps failing numerous times, and they got caught, busted. Because the new president is not the old president, which allowed a temple in the Congo that we got dedicated under the brand new first year of the new president in Congo. And Dale G. Renlund was the one who dedicated it. And so, the new president is not conforming and complying to the church, and thus, the coup. Because Jesus has to hand over all the keys of government to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And the Congo was not cooperating. You got to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So, yeah, it's Screw the Poor. Operation Screw the Poor. That's what they mean by revitalization. When I was living in West Valley City, we had our midterm elections in which one of the guys running for office was running on a campaign of revitalizing West Valley City's poorer neighborhoods. They're poor because they cannot afford revitalized homes. And so what he was talking about was kicking the people out of their homes, building new homes that would be over $500 million. 500,000. And thus only have the rich elite in West Valley City who pay more in taxation and more in the community, and thus revitalize, eliminating the poor. So yeah, he did not win, because the majority of the people are poor in West Valley City. They saw through it, and they chose not him. And strangely enough, again, we had another instance where a kid brought THC gummies to school and passed them out to his friends. And there's some issues that are not being covered by the news. They're all trying to shut THC down, calling it evil. See what it did to kids? Oh my God. THC is medical. It's only supposed to be administered by a medical doctor. Real easy breezy stuff, and yet the news is not reporting this correctly. They're specifically leaving things out to get you to fear and get your emotions going, so that you then scream out, we want to ban THC, ban the smoke shops that we approved of in the midterm election that one year. That the church tried to tell you it was vilified and evil and gonna harm kids, and you didn't listen to the church. You thought you knew better, and see, the church was right. This is all a trick. And the news is in on it because the church controls the news here in Utah. And so they are not asking, why did the parents give the kid the gummy bears? Or who else gave it to them? Was it their older teenage brother? Because you can't just walk into a THC store here in Utah as a little kid, go up to the counter and say, gummies please. That'll be $50. Here you go. My allowance. They can't do that. The shop clerk would be fired and thrown in prison for selling marijuana to a kid who did not have a doctor's note. That's the whole point of the whole thing. Doctors have to prescribe it. You can't just go and buy it. Everybody's freaking out and panicking, and nobody seems to get this. And so, who did the kid get the gummies from? That should be the concern. Not about that he learned to share because he goes to primary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Good for you, kid. He's sharing. Sharing is caring. He's learning to share. This is what people do not understand about childhood development. Their mental processing of things. The way you teach them. And I saw this with Clayton and Melissa. You know, she was 3, he was 1, and she had him tag along with her everywhere she went and do everything she wanted him to do. Because she's the older sister. And so one day I'm sitting on the couch watching a show. I don't know if it was Babe Watch BC, wrestling, or Simpsons, but regardless of whatever I was watching, because I was home from school that day, there was no school, I then see Clayton and Melissa. They're dusting. Wow, that's impressive. On their own, they decided to dust the house. That's awesome. My kids are great. Stephanie comes downstairs, sees the kids are dusting, and panics and freaks out and screams at them. Stop! Kids are now scared. They don't understand what they did wrong. They're afraid they're going to get beaten. And so then Stephanie goes over and rips out the cloth from their hands. It was the doilies that were given as gifts to her from her aunt or grandmother or something like that. If you're going to have a home with kids, you have to make it baby-proof and kid-proof. If you're not going to teach them. It was clear Stephanie taught the kids to be slaves. But she did not teach what to use for rags. So the kids, not knowing, thought they were doing something good, something helpful, and after that, guess what? Yeah, never saw them dusting again, let alone any other chores again. But I do understand, after she left me and kidnapped them and stole my research on Paleo-Hebrew, having deciphered it, that she was constantly fighting and arguing with the kids over getting them to clean. Nah, 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 nah. So, yeah, you got to teach kids correctly, because there's another one in the news we're going to get to here. And so, yeah, you got to understand who gave the kid the gummies. That's what the news needs to be focused on. Was it the parents? Are the parents the bad parents? Because they gave their kid gummies. Or they left it out so that the kid could get the gummies. And, yeah, they look like candy. That was the whole point of the church, to try to ban medical marijuana. It's because kids will get them. And here, kids got them. All the church is true. Should have listened to the church. Better put back on our underwear. God. See, because right now, there's a woman on trial for murdering her husband because she laced him with fentanyl. Where'd she get the fentanyl from? Because there's a huge scandal here in Utah prior to her arrest for murdering her husband with fentanyl, that China is the cause of the creation of fentanyl and shipping it into America through the Mexican border and getting to Utah, as Utah has a massive drug problem of fentanyl. And I did live reporting from Gail Miller's concentration camp of horrors of human trafficking, where bodies were dying from overdoses. The drug residue was falling from the sky. That whole building needs to be condemned and destroyed, because there's just no way they're going to be able to clean it. And they can't do that, because they were forced to build it. Because remember Operation Rio Grande? We hate the poor, screw the poor, murder the poor. Yeah. God. So, here's the other kid one. We had in the news about a tanker truck that landed in the reservoir, and the driver was found dead in his seat. And so now, after this story broke, we're now hearing news of a little kid who drove a toy tractor into a body of water and drowned. Again, if you're going to allow your kids to just sit in front of a TV set and you're not going to be there with them to talk to them and explain to them and educate them, then they are going to be taught and educated by whatever they see and hear on the TV. So if you're going to let your kid watch the news and they're going to see, oh, a truck goes in the water, I want to do that, that looks like fun, because they don't understand somebody died. That's why it's on the news. They're too young to understand. You've got to be with your kid to explain why the news is so negative. Which is a big scandal in and of itself that goes all the way back to the 80s and 90s. Evangelicals and Mormons. And so, we can talk about that because we're going to talk about commercials, I see here on my list. Let's see, remember, I've been talking about how Nazi Germany had concentration camps torturing Jews with psychologists. And then those psychologists got asylum into America called Paperclip, Operation Paperclip. You know, they're going to thank their American liberators. Nope. They wanted to destroy us. So they were put to work with the government. That's where LSD comes in, MK Ultra. That has been declassified. But they've also been doing other methods of brainwashing the masses, not just through drugs. That's what destroyed disco, was drugs in the discos and the drug rings and the prostitution and all that getting busted. And so no more disco, it's dead. October 23rd, 1981. Bloom County. The death of disco. And so, I didn't ever listen to music on the radio. I only had my my mom's Elvis records until he started his druggy years, and then Elvis died in my mom's mind. All of his drug year songs did not exist. That's not Elvis. She wants the good, wholesome, pure Elvis that she remembers as a girl when she'd strip off her underwear and throw it on stage. And so yes, that's also in the news, by the way. See how this all ties together? The estate of Elvis that was in the movie is going up for auction, and the daughter is trying to save it. But they just... So, and then Sean Cassidy 8-track tape that we got on our move from Michigan to Southern California after first grade for me. And so, some of the other brainwashing that I've been able to pick up on, because I was set in front of the TV to educate me. I know all about this. Was the commercials, which interrupted the show. Something big happens, and then they cut to a commercial. Hey, what are you doing? And notoriously on General Hospital, they got the Quartermain freeze ray machine pointed at Port Charles, and Luke is there to save the day, and then, oh no, somebody comes out from behind and shoots a gun, and not just cut to a commercial, but it's the end of the show. You gotta wait till Monday now to find out what happened. Crap! But in the commercials, they are specifically designed to brainwash you to buy their product. And so women were abused immensely during this time period. That women were told to be a material girl and a dumb blonde and to pursue being a gold digger. Oh, hey, it worked, didn't it? Women are doing Botox and tanning and all kinds of things to destroy their body and be ashamed of who they are, not love themselves. They have to change themselves, put on a mask and costume to be some other identity because they are ashamed of who they are. That's what commercials did. Easy breezy cover girl, or maybe it's Maybelline. You don't need makeup, women. Makeup was invented by the Brits because girls can't be seen blushing in the presence of a guy. And thus the invention of makeup. They're always blushing. Blushing bride. And so yes, it's not for grooming, hygiene. No, makeup is bad. It doesn't hydrate your skin. Oh, but no, Travis, there's this new product. No! Don't fall for it. Because guys don't want to kiss the makeup. We want to kiss you. We want to kiss the makeup. But Travis, there's this new lipstick. You will never know. But yeah, lipstick, all women know this. It used to leave marks. And so yes, the guy would get caught having committed adultery because of the lipstick on his collar. Or on his neck. Or on his cheeks. And so men said, hey, wait a minute, I'm not liking this getting caught by my wife committing an affair. Let's create a new lipstick that doesn't leave evidence. And then the wife still found out because of the cologne or the perfume of the woman. So now we gotta figure out what to do for that, and that's too tricky. So we'll just have to counteract it with male cologne. Yes, all these commercials are designed to brainwash you, to make you zombies in the system, to pay your money for the specific products. This is all trying to see if they can do it on a mass scale. And they've succeeded. And so YouTube, yeah. They lost Google a whole ton of money. And so Google ordered them to increase the number of commercials. Piss off the people who view it. Because the people who view YouTube do it for free. They're freeloaders. And so we gotta punish them. And so they cater to the corporate board. They gotta get paid. And to their stock investors. Who's the biggest stock investor in Google? The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Remember those YouTube community guidelines? Yeah, it's the churches. And so YouTube now has tons of commercials all over the place, even when they're set up for those commercials to have their own channel. This is because the money is in control of YouTube, not the people who view YouTube, not the people who make videos but don't want to get paid for it. They're freeloaders, putting all kinds of videos on there and not giving a cut to YouTube. So AI then became invented to help boost those companies and their commercials and censor and silence those of us who are not cooperating, who want YouTube to be a you-tube, not a them-tube. So, sadly, the news also is covering about the 2 Spanish Fork girls who were hit by a vehicle at an intersection. This is the problem in Utah. They do not have lights. They do not have crossings designated for vehicles to stop. Utahns are murderous. They're hit and run people all over the place who just don't care about pedestrians. You know, it's taught in driver's ed that pedestrians have the right of way, but Utah drivers just don't care anymore, and they're murderous that way. And so yeah, 2 girls were murdered by a vehicle driver who violated the laws of driving, and it's pretty sad. But I noticed the one girl was wearing a Def Leppard t-shirt. So at least her parents were teachers, right? In the state of Utah. And they are now saved from the church's prostitution. It's the wrong way to save them. God, I'm leaking. Is there a cure for leaking in from the eyes? Oh, Mormons. Evil. Thank you. Being evil cures leaking from the eyes. So, Bravenel Hall, it's not bringing in the revenue, so they got to close it. And people are saying no. Just like in West Valley City the other week that I covered. You know, the theater in West Valley City, it's got to close because nobody's going to watch the theater. And you just, come on, people. If you want something in your community, you've got to support it. Which means you've got to pay your money to that thing that you want supported. So this is what I noticed at Blockbuster Video. The particular business that I was in, the store that I was in, the woman who would go on to become the girlfriend of the manager, and thus was given special preference for her pick of when she works, wanted to turn the store into her kind of store, a family video rental, getting rid of all the R-rated movies, just have family movies, Disney stuff. Yeah, Mormon. But even Mormon girls is as self-righteous with their standards and values that the church tells them to have are, when it comes to a cute guy, yeah, they don't care. They throw all their standards and values out the window, try to justify it. I can change him. I can bring him back to the church. Anyway, she did not seem to understand that a family rental place can't survive. People don't want it. And if a business is going to survive, they have to cater to the needs of the public, because the public determines whether they survive or not. Unless you get stock investors and corporate board who bypass the people to sell the people what they don't want, and then trying to figure out ways to brainwash the people into buying products that they don't want, and that causes them harm, and thus they have to buy more products and more and more. Just like with drugging. Oh, you've got a problem. Here's some drugs. Oh, you got side effects from the drugs. Here's some more drugs. Oh, more side effects, more drugs. Thus, Big Pharma. And so, yeah, this is the same thing with the Bravenel Hall. They weren't packing the seats, and thus they weren't making the money. And I could have told them what they needed to do. They needed to have mandatory Mozart. Every Friday night, mandatory Mozart. Not just once a year, that they used to do. You know, like K-Bear in Southern California. Mandatory Metallica. Which they did every night, every weekday night, not just on Fridays. They did it for a whole hour. Mandatory Metallica for a whole hour every night. Awesome. And so, yeah, you cater to the people. And so, because you get the majority of an audience listening to K-Bear during Mandatory Metallica hour, the companies, knowing this is K-Bear's big hour, thus help to advertise during that time slot. That's how you do it. And so at Bravenel Hall and the West Valley Theater, no, they suck at business. They don't know how to bring in the people to keep it going. And so, yeah, you gotta get performers who are not gonna do what they want to sing, which is not what the public wants. They want them to sing What's Forever For on his birthday when he goes for the one and only time to a Bravenel Hall. Back in the 2000s, or was it late 1990s? Anyway, I went to a Bravenel Hall, was advertising Michael Martin Murphey and What's Forever For. Awesome. I would like to go to that concert. I'm all by myself, newly divorced, nobody to go with, and so yeah, it's a little awkward, but you know, I wanted to go hear that song on my birthday. He didn't even sing it. He sung all his other stuff, his activist stuff that he wanted people to be influenced to. And I had to get all dressed up for it. You can't do that to people. You got to put performers that the people want to hear, and the performers need to perform what the people want to hear. Otherwise, ain't gonna happen. So yeah, I would have loved to have gone during their Mozart week that they held every August. But yeah, it just never worked out for me to go to it. So yeah, if a Bravenel Hall has to close, it has to close. But now a Bravenel Hall saying we now need, $200 million or so to revitalize it and renovate it, and so now it ain't gonna be done unless a rich donor gives the money. And that's what they're doing the news thing for, is to try to guilt trip a rich elite person who wants culture in Utah to remain, get them to pay for it. Just like a homeless person panhandling, because the Bravenel Hall could not function as a business properly. Utah held a Democratic town hall meeting, and all two of them showed up. It's just so sad, guys. We already know what Trump is going to do. We already knew when he was president what he wanted to do, but was told no, and so he didn't do them. Now he knows what he can get away with, and he can get away with anything now, and so he wants to get back into the presidency so that he can do anything he wants and have everybody murdered. We already know this. We already know he was a supporter of Nazi Germany and Hitler. It's not a surprise that on his Truth Social, he posts about the Third Reich for America. That's not news. Yeah, we know. This is what he's doing. This is what we expect him to do. But no, the deep state Dem press are now panicking. Oh no, Trump is going to get revenge on the DOJ and the FBI. Breaking news! We never knew this. We didn't see this coming. Oh my God. So Fox News is going, oh, those sensitive snowflakes, they're lying. Trump's not gonna do that. You need to word it differently, deep state Dem press. You need to say that Trump is going to clean the swamp. Then Fox News will go, what the hell? The deep state Dem press said that Trump is going to do what we want him to do. That's how they understand it. You understand World War II, Nazi Germany, and America. And they're going, clean the swamp. You gotta speak their language. God. We're done. Oh my hell. Seriously. 3rd Nephi chapter 7. Learning of the Jews, remember? It's all right in there, guys. And you're all focused on the branches of the church, whether it's true or not. Oh, I found this branch, it's true, therefore the church is true. Oh, no, 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 the branch is false, therefore the church is false. Why so much stupidity? Why? So, we're all doomed. You're all gonna die, and nobody cares. What kind of thumbnail picture can I use? Maybe Oaks doing the Heil Hitler. The Third Reich for Mormonism. Yes.